welcome to Sin City After Dark. I'm Katerina Mesa, your host, and before we start, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button below and to set up notifications, that way you never miss an episode. I'm here today with the beautiful Sage Waters, who is an amazing singer-songwriter here in Las Vegas. So Sage, I would like for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Well, my name is Sage Waters. I am, as you said, I'm a singer-songwriter, and Sage Waters is my real name. I'm a singer-songwriter here in Las Vegas. I perform at a multitude of different places. I work at a couple of studios, including Iconica Studios, which is a really fun place where I get to do a lot of songwriting for other people as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have a long history of athletics and art, but music is my thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that you write your own music and you write it for other artists. Is there like a difference in the process? Like, do you listen to the other artists first and you're like, okay, or do you just kind of write what you're feeling and then go from there?
With other artists, I do like to sit down and talk with the artist themselves, and whoever's going to be singing the song, it's going to be their song. So okay. I always like to sit down and get to know them a little bit, and often they're like, it seems like more like getting to know a friend, getting to know somebody with the purpose of becoming friends with them, in order to understand kind of the personality of the person and how they're going to, like, what are we going to write about is usually the first thing, because I'm usually given just a well-developed track that we're ready to record on, and maybe a hook, maybe a melody, but usually not anything substantial, which is why they hire me to come in.
I see.
Or there's just kind of missing chunks that I'm there to fill in sometimes. But understanding the artist that's going to be performing the song is pivotal and the most important thing, because I want to be able to write in a way that they can express themselves and they can feel heard, and that when they go to sing the song, it feels like they wrote it and it's their words coming out. So while I'm getting to know them, I listen to the way they talk and watch their gestures and their body positioning and all these different nuances to the person that may influence the way that they deliver a song. Some singers have really long vibratos and and very expressive. And then there are other singers who are more staccato and very more withdrawn. So, I don't want to write a big belty song for someone who doesn't belt.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I want to write that for someone who does belt, so they can explore their vocalization and their expression that in a way that feels natural to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then for myself, I was
just gonna ask you that.
I just write. I write like, I have every different method of writing.
Okay.
I've done it. It depends. Like, we could be talking on this interview and there's something silly that happens and it inspires something, or something touching that happens and it inspires me to write a story about it, right? Yeah. Or we could hear a phone go off and just it getting cut off in that one way gives a certain little loop of melody in my head, and I make a song out of that. I don't know. Or you could give me a track and I'd write to that. So
I think that's the perfect way to write music. It's just based on what happens, what you're feeling, and you just go with your idea.
Yeah.
Is there something that really inspires you with your original music? For yourself, of course.
For myself, actually, even when I write for other artists, I write from a place of honesty and truth and reality and accountability in oneself. And I feel like in songwriting, I'm able to say things about myself that I wouldn't just say in a conversation, but I may be able to put it into a lyric and be honest about how scared I might be about something, or how uncomfortable something made me, or how actually devastated I am about this subject, when in my day-to-day life, I'm like, oh no, I'm fine. Because I've got things to do. I've got kids to take care of. I've got, work I've got to get on a stage and entertain people. You can't go up there with your head full of worry and whatever's going on in your life. So, yeah.
Do you ever feel that, well, I guess you can answer the way you feel, but I feel like personally, if I was writing about the things that are truth to me, for example, and how I'm feeling, I feel like I might be at some point like, oh, I don't really want people to know that that's how I feel, or what are people going to think? So how do you manage that line between TMI and something substantial that you're really feeling that you want to share, if that makes sense?
I don't feel like you can say too much as a songwriter. It's our job, and I think it's a huge blessing and a gift if you have the talent to write songs, if you can also gather the confidence and the courage to share those songs.
Yeah.
That is where the true artistry comes. Because an artist that keeps all their stuff in a closet, the whole what is
The
that?
point. What
What's
is
the
the
point of it?
purpose?
I mean,
Yeah.
it is self-therapeutic. And I'm not saying every artist that creates and is comfortable enough to express it, like these paintings in here, they're really, really abstract, right?
Right.
But they've got things in it. Let's say like this one over here says power, pain, so
Yeah.
they're bits of the artist and love. There's bits of the artist and how they felt and what they're expressing on those, and it's just shapes and colors. But by reading those little words, you realize, oh, this means so much more. What are those shapes and colors? What does that actually mean? What's behind it? So there are subjects. I don't think any subject is off topic or
Yeah.
off limits,
Yeah.
because there's 100% there's somebody out there that's experienced what you want, what you're afraid to write about, and what you're afraid to say, and what you're afraid to admit. There are people out there that have gone through it or are going through it that feel lost and unseen and unheard. And as an artist, it's our job to be vulnerable to the public in order to, like it's a selfless
Yeah.
thing. I think the hardest part about being a professional working artist is that you're trying to be your most authentic self and share that through a medium. And then there are people that say that you're trying to go for, oh, you must like the attention. And because music is held up so elite, and in such an elite place, performance is held in an elite place in Hollywood, in America, in the Western world, oh, you're a singer. And it's like, oh my goodness, I want to be a singer. It's almost like an obsession with being in the spotlight. I have terrible stage fright. So
Really.
like crippling stage fright. I got fired from my first band because I would close my eyes and back into the drum set. And drummers like, why are you back here with me? Get back up there. And I'm like, they're looking at me. So it's scary to get up there. And then to finally
Yeah.
make it up there and work so hard to like be a dynamic performer and get rid of that shyness and like go at your crowd and be like, come on, let's go. And like, we're all gonna have fun together. And I'm still nervous inside sometimes,
Yeah.
But to do all that, and for me, it's like when I finally get into the zone of performing, I feel like it's no different than when I get excited about playing with my kids and like we're all gonna go surfing or skiing or something, or hiking or something really, really fun together where everybody's charged up with the same energy. And so the idea that that's putting yourself in a position of power or attention seeking, to me, it's like it doesn't. To me, true artistry, that's not what it's about. It's about your audience. It's about being honest enough with my work. What work I put out, I'm honest enough so where my audience can listen to it, relate to it, and come to me, and we can actually have a genuine connection, a genuine exchange of honest emotion between each other. And I've done 3 original shows here in Vegas since I've been here, and they all sold out, which was great. But
Congrats.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And I've heard that that's a rare thing to be able to do originals, and I didn't do any covers, just originals, and then have people show up for that and be supportive. But at the end of each show, I had at least 3 people come up, hug me, and hold on to me and cry because of certain songs. There's a couple songs that I sing that I wrote that are they're very honest. And it's not a side of myself that I share with anybody that's not very close to me. So it's taken a lot of practicing singing the song, just even by myself without me. You have to connect emotionally, but not to the point where I'm going to start crying on stage, or I don't want to say it because I'm re-feeling those feelings. So that's where your professionalism and your work ethic comes in, and you have to deliver the product. I have to remember I am the product, and what comes out of me is the product. So it's not something I can stamp it on a shirt, but that's the merchandise about the product. So
Right.
it's it's being a professional working artist, it's a dichotomy. You feel a little split personality occasionally.
How do you keep yourself from being vulnerable, for example, on stage, but also being professional? Like if you're singing something and you feel like you're about to start crying, how do you stop yourself from feeling it all the way, you know?
I'm not very good at that. Usually I do end up feeling it all the way. And sometimes I'll just sit and I'll cry,
Yeah.
and tears will come out, and sometimes I lose my voice but I'm there with my band and my musicians, and those are my friends. That's family. Anybody who's on stage with me, that is somebody that we're in the fire together. So if I get emotional, the guys will pick up or they might pull back. But they're very, you have a relationship with your other musicians, and they know what that song means to me. That's why they're playing it in a way that's, even the music is evoking emotion. And even when I'm not singing and you're just listening to the bass play or the piano do it solo, it's touching you because Oscar he knows the story, and he's playing the music and the melody on the piano the way that he feels like the feelings are trickling out of him, in correlation to what I'm doing, right? So the beauty of it. I mean, like, we see artists sometimes. Ray is one of my favorite artists right now, and she is an independent artist, and she's up there with her sisters, and she writes all her own music, and she sits down and has conversations, and she gets emotional sometimes, and she talks about her weight gain and loss and how insecure she feels. But that's why everybody loves her so much, because she's relatable. She opens herself up to be vulnerable. So I think it's the professionalism is you have to maintain your vocal technique, not turn your back to the audience too much. I mean, some of us artists can do that, but when it's more of like a homey setting.
Yeah.
But it's a battle, and I think people like my heart goes out to like Britney Spears, and it's like she had to do such. You hear now about what she was dealing with at certain times. You're like, that was an incredible performance on the MTV or whatever, Grammys. And you realize she was going through this stuff. Halsey, she tells a horrific story of what she went through. She had just had a miscarriage, and they sent her out in an adult diaper to finish her show. And on one hand, it shows the absolute resilient strength of a woman and an artist. And on the other hand, how dare you push her out on that stage while she's going through that?
Absolutely.
So it's, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It goes back and forth.
That's a lot. It must be a lot, especially as a woman, where you have to be vulnerable all the time.
Yeah.
And dealing with that. And you also have to be strong at the same time.
In a male-dominated industry.
Correct.
Which is real fun sometimes.
Correct.
I have to say, most of the men I work with, though, are very compassionate, empathetic, and very kind and supportive. And they usually are attached to an amazing woman, that loves and protects them, so they can continue being that wonderful man that I get to work with. So thank you to all you guys and the women attached, because they make our world go around, So you hear a lot of nightmarish stories about the music industry, entertainment and stuff, and how women are taken advantage of and abused and manipulated. And it is out there. But there's a lot out there that's a lot of people in a lot of groups that are not like this. This whole experience here at the podcast, I feel like I'm at home with with my cousin. It's like you feel like family. The
You
producers,
do as well.
thank you. Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
I know we're like becoming real friends on the
We
outside.
are becoming real friends.
I love that. But this industry is rough, and because you're being vulnerable and you are being yourself and your heart and soul is the product, you have to be balanced. You just have to find your balance and stay grounded, not get too much into your musical character, not too much into, I'm not going to show off and be different for the crowd. It's like there has to be a
happy medium.
There has to be a happy medium.
Yeah.
And there is a difference in who I am at home with my kids and with my friends and people who are close to me, and who I am on stage. Sometimes I wish I could be that bold person on stage when I'm at the grocery store or when I'm in a situation where I need to maybe say something to somebody. I tend to be a little more on the passive side occasionally, but if I'm the stage persona all the time, then where's mommy? You know, and where's Sagey? Not Sage Waters. Where's just Sage? And that is a person who likes sweatpants and cats. and watching hours of like videos and Netflix and silly stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
absolutely relate to that, as you know.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, you know. It's when I'm singing, I'm like a totally different person than when I'm at the grocery store. If I need to ask for something, my throat closes and I'm like,
Excuse me. Excuse me.
yeah.
You get on the stage and you're like, nah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
different. It's insane. Do you have any advice for new artists who are just getting into this and are feeling that insecurity that we all feel?
Take every opportunity that comes your way, big or small. You'll learn something from every single one. I had people telling me my entire career, you need to pick a genre. That is business advice, not creative advice. Make sure you keep those things separate. What is good for your business is not always good for your personal creativity and growth. So, yes, do the thing that's good for your business as long as it's within your boundaries, right? And always. But if I had listened to everybody who said you need to stick to one genre, I wouldn't have the job at the studio writing for the pop artist and the R&B artist and the folk artist and the country artist and the hip hop. I get to write for whoever's in the studio that wants good lyrics and melody or harmonies and vocal arrangements. They call me up. And it's because of my versatility that I get to be on so many different stages in so many different genres. So it's actually like a superpower. It's a great thing to be able to cultivate within yourself is learn how to do as many pieces of this industry as you can, because we could switch places. Let's now the podcast is about you. And we're going to interview about your singing, right? Yeah. I can write, I can produce, I can do vocal arrangements. I'm in an a cappella group. I've done acting. I do modeling. I'm an athlete. All of these things feed into what I do. And that's why I get to do so many things and I don't get bored, because I don't just sing jazz. I don't just sing the top 40. I don't just sing with tracks. I can sing with any kind of band. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I have a history in dance, a background in professional dance. So now I'm in this new great show, and they're like, there's actually there's a significant amount of choreography. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, let's go.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am. And get super excited. Now I get to do this great choreography with a great choreographer, and I can hang in there, and I get the job, because I worked my tail off as a dancer and a singer, you know? And I take the time to another good piece of advice is take the time to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Create a sustainable schedule and a sustainable diet and exercise routine, because your sleep and what you put in your body and how much you move it will determine what gigs you will be able to do, how late you will be able to stay up, how long you can sit on that stage. I got a gig one time and they were like, oh, it's 5 hours. I was like, excuse me?
A long time.
5 hours? And I'm like, I'm used to like 2-3 hour gigs at the time. 5 hours, that's intense for anybody. So I had the endurance because of that routine I kept up. I was keeping up and making sure I could do that. So, and then there's the personal life. You know, I have kids, they go to school, I have to wake up early, drop-offs and pickups and they have their own shows because they're musical and theatrical. So I have to be at their gigs and get them to their gigs. And the best advice for an artist is balance and focus. And keep out any negativity. Unless it's constructive and it's adding to your library of wealth, then it has no place in your life if it's going to take you down. There shouldn't be someone in your life that you cringe having to deal with before you get on stage, because it will affect your performance and it'll affect your joy in being able to do what you do. And that's the worst, because we do the best job in the world. Like, we're entertainers. We get to get on stage. We get paid we make our living making people smile, helping people feel better. You know, like, even if it's in a happy hour bar and everybody's just wants a beer after work, that's like one of my favorite gigs, honestly, because everybody is just like, oh, I had the longest day, and they want a beer, and I'm like, oh, I would have walked 500 miles, and I get to choose my own set list, so I pick songs that I'd like to hear that aren't on the radio all the time. You know, that are going to, you know, you see people go look from the gambling machine, like, and they're like, yeah, that's like the best feeling, you know?
Absolutely. I think that, well, I think you're amazing and you're super impressive.
Oh, thank you.
Because you really seem like you've captured every single aspect of the music industry in a sense.
I was really obsessed with like performance as a child. I remember being like 4 or 5 and seeing my parents were watching the Grammys, and I saw Whitney Houston win, and her hair was all pretty and poofy and curly, and she had this big bright smile that reminded me of my mother. And her voice, my mom loved her voice, my dad loved her voice. And then it's just, I was fascinated with the stage crew, the guys in black that would run on and pull sets off. I was fascinated with how they did the lighting, how, like, everything. I'm friends with one of the guys who builds stages, and he's one of the most interesting people I know. And he like got to build the Grammy stage one year because I mean, like, he builds like the big festival stages, but all that goes into that is fascinating to me. I love being a stage crew, anything having to do with it. And so every opportunity I had to learn how to do it, whether it's like, and I say the best, right now my son's 17 and he's looking for jobs. And I said, and he's like, but I want to do so many things. I don't want to just get stuck in one thing. So I told him about how I learned how to do things. I got a job in a bronze casting foundry. I got a job as a limo driver. I started my own catering business. I had my own house cleaning business. I worked at a bank. Random. I worked at the California Shakespeare Festival. These are completely different things across the board. None of them relate to each other in any way. But I use everything I've learned working in this industry. Because it's just working with people, different kinds of people in different circumstances. And I think once you understand people, it makes it way more fun. Because then you can anticipate how to move with others in a way that they're going to be comfortable and excited and hopefully be more vulnerable, so you can be more vulnerable, and everybody you just have a better overall experience. Yeah,
I do want to, well, before I say what I'm going to say, I actually have a very similar background too. I've worked like so many random jobs and it's kind of that. It's, you know, what you're saying, you know, it's just about learning how to work with people. And I'm happy you brought that to my attention, because that's what I'm going to tell people when they ask me, why did you do that? And I'm gonna say that. But I did want to go back to what you mentioned, because I thought it was really interesting that you were saying you're a no genre artist. And I feel like people say it's taboo to say, when people ask you, like, what's your genre? You know, and people say, oh, I don't know, that's supposedly a bad thing.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that in this business? Like, do you just say, do you just say one genre, or do you say, I sing everything?
Yeah. Do you mean like if somebody just says, what kind of music do you sing?
Yeah, like if you're talking in a business meeting, they're like, oh, so they're going to hire you. What kind of music do you sing?
Well, if you're going to hire me, what kind of music are you looking for? Right?
That's a great answer.
But if it's what do I prefer to sing? I like, as a no genre artist, if you're talking about my original music, I'd just say go listen to it. I'd play it for you and be like, it's that.
Is there a place to find that?
Yeah, I'm on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. Just look up Sage Waters and you'll find me. Or Water the Sage.
Okay.
Yeah, and
cool.
You'll find me. But I have a new song I'm coming out with. And the no genre thing is an interesting kind of, it's not, I don't know if it's a dilemma. It is a marketing problem.
Yeah, that's...
It's definitely a marketing problem. But, like, what would you classify Lorde as? When she came out, I'll never be royals, royals.
Yeah.
That was basically a cappella with, like, a bass line. It was beautiful. And she's put it out as a demo, and it blew up, I think, on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah.
Not even monetized. but that's what it grabbed everybody's ear. They didn't care what genre it is. They like it. They like to sing. They like her voice. They like the sound. So I kind of write like that. So, but I mean, if I had to describe my live, personal, original band, I always describe it as if Hendrix and Beyonce made
Mashed
a band.
together.
Yeah, because it's
like
kind of like rock, but rock
Yeah.
blues, alternative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Totally forgot what I was going to ask you. You had mentioned, now I'm going to talk backwards in my brain.
Perfect. I'm dyslexic. I'll be right there with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So you were talking about your original music, and also before you were also talking about how your band is like your family.
Mm-hmm.
So what was something that you were looking for when you were, or I'm assuming that you wrote your music and then you had to, reach out to your band.
Yes.
But how do you find the right people that kind of, express everything that you want to be expressed when you're playing?
I honestly, because I don't write with my bands, I compose and write all the music and the arrangements myself, and then I just
Okay.
teach it to my bands. My bands are all for hire.
Okay.
I just hire out musicians. I try to stick with the same group. Once I find a group of us that's like,
Yeah, that meshes. And
yeah, I try and keep that going. But I typically look for jazz musicians. I go to the like the serious jazz musicians, the ones that are being experimental, the ones that are writing. They are composers themselves. The ones that like R.J. Reyes on bass. He plays a 6-string, and it's like listening to a harp. He's like, and I'm like, I love watching you. And then
Melt.
and then Oscar Alejandro is on
Yeah.
keys, and those two are a power team of jazz. Like they can play anything, and they love playing, and you can hear it and you can feel it, and they're fun and they're easygoing, and they show up to work, and they put their all into everything. So because I put my all into everything. So I try and find like-minded people, and usually I end up with a group of very respectful, highly professional, incredibly talented and, individuals that know how to execute on the most professional level. And that is like the most satisfying feeling. Like I did a show, I debuted my song "Time with You" at the Smith Center at the night they do the composers. And they said, if you want to do a song, and then the guy, I forget his name, he did the arrangements. I had the arrangements on the recording, right?
Yeah.
Which you can find on Spotify. Or on platforms. But he added my friend Kevin's a horn player, and I wanted him there. He's the one who got me onto the show. He's like, she's got a great song. And he plays flugel and trumpet. And he always jokes about the flugelhorn, but it's beautiful. And the producer wrote in a chart for the horn. And I absolutely love that rendition of the song because I don't have horns in my original recording. I never even thought to put horns. I was thinking of guitar and piano,
Yeah.
But just this like, like these nice, clear, long notes.